Hi friends, welcome to the channel JIV and CIV Made Simple. So in today's lecture, we are going to see the previous year question that was asked in June 2024 with proper explanation. We will not see only question. I will give you the proper explanation for each and every question. And you know, this previous year question plays a very important role in our for our examination. Why prepare? Because by seeing the previous year question, you come to know about what are the important topics, right, which we need to focus more, and what are the topics which we need to focus less. So that is how it is helpful to us. So let's see the first question that we have. The first question was regarding MCLR. So let me show you the question. This is the question. The question was MCLR served as a, okay, you know MCLR. What is MCLR? MCLR stands for the, let me elaborate. It stands for the marginal cost of fund based lending rate. So it means marginal cost of fund based lending rate. So it is essentially the minimum interest rate a bank can charge its customer for lending money. So now let's break down the option. The first option is threshold rate. See, threshold rate is incorrect because threshold rate is a minimum price below which a product or service cannot be sold. So suppose I have just put a minimum price below which a product cannot be sold, right? That is called threshold rate. But here MCLR is a minimum rate. It's not about selling a product but lending money. That's why this option is incorrect. The second option is base rate. This is also incorrect. You see, base rate was previous system which is used by bank to determine interest rate on loan. And you know MCLR has replaced the base rate. So base rate system was the earlier system which was used. Now MCLR has replaced. Option C is external benchmark. This is also incorrect. Why? Because external benchmark is a rate which is determined by the outside entity, independent of the bank. Like example, I can give you example like repo rate. So repo rate which is set by the central bank. You know, repo rate is set by the central bank. It is type of external benchmark. MCLR is determined internally by the bank. Option number D is the correct one. Because MCLR is indeed an internal benchmark which is set by bank itself. It is based on the bank cost of fund. You know, there are some factors which determine the MCLR, and one of the major factor is cost of fund. Right. What is the meaning of cost of fund? That means the interest you pay to the depositor, operating cost, profit margin, everything plays a very important role. Right. So there are some components of MCLR. So that's the point. Now let's see the next question. The next question, let us move to the next question. It is regarding NRI, right? So the question is, suppose an NRI avails a loan 5 lakh against an NRI term deposit from your branch. So suppose an NRI, you know, non-resident Indian, he avail a loan of 5 lakh against an NRI term deposit from your branch. The proceed of the loan can be credited to which of the following account? So the loan proceed, the loan of 5 lakh which you give, so can be credited to which account? Very good question. See, you know, NRI secures the loans against their NRI term deposit. They have the flexibility to choose where the loan proceeds are credited, right? So let me explain this part. The option is say resident saving account. So primarily it is used for income and expense within India by the resident. It is suitable for NRI who have significant expenses or income in India and prefer managing their finance through a resident criteria. Right. Option B say NRI saving bank account. So it is used by NRI to manage their income earned abroad. NRI who want to keep the loan proceeds separate from their income earned in India, it is suitable. The next is NRO saving bank account. It is used by NRI to manage income earned in India such as rent, dividend, pension. So it is suitable for those NRI who want to use the loan proceeds from expenses related to the Indian income. So you can see, so let me conclude. So the choice of account for crediting the loan proceed depends on NRI's specific financial need and preference. Factors such as purpose of the loan, expected income, expenses in India, repatriation requirement should be considered while making a decision. So the correct answer will be option number D, I think. Right, any one of the above. So and loan proceed can be credited to any of the above account. That's the point. Let's see the next question. Which of the following is a key use of smartwatches as a wearable technology? This is a very good question which was asked in the last examination. You have been asked to see in the it is regarding smartwatches. You know, smartwatches have become increasingly popular as a wearable technology device, offering a range of functionality. So the first point is regarding capturing high resolution video. See, this is small screen size and limited processing power make them unsuitable for capturing high quality video. they cannot capture high quality videos. Smartphone remain the preferred device for this purpose. So smartwatches cannot capture high resolution video. Option number B says recording, tracking information for health and fitness. Yeah, this is the core function of most of the smartwatch. They are equipped with sensor to track heart rate, steps, calorie burn, sleep pattern, and other health metrics. Many smartwatches also offer GPS for tracking outdoor activities like running or cycling. So they also offer GPS, right? The option C say playing high definition game. This is also incorrect. Some smartwatches have gaming capability. It's not their primary focus. The small screen size and limited processing power restrict the type of games that can be played effectively, right? Option D says providing augmented reality experience. So you know AR is augmented reality. It requires significant processing power and display capability, which are not typically available in smartwatches. That's why, while some experimental AR feature might be incorporated in future model, currently a smartphone and dedicated AR device are better platform for experience. So let me conclude. The key use of a smartwatch as a wearable technology is this one. Option number B, recording, tracking information for health and fitness. That's the point, right? So option number B is the correct one. Friends, we have an course. We have a complete comprehensive course for the JIV. Those who are looking for such a course where everything is clear, starting from PDF, videos, mock test, and capsule content, they can enroll in our comprehensive program. We have just started the mentorship program in which daily based target content is provided. If you want to get more detail, you can WhatsApp me on this particular number. And if you want PDF, there are several plans which we have regarding the JIV. So you can get more detail by WhatsApping me on the numbers shown on the screen. Now, sorry friends, let's see the next question. The next question is, in case of foreign currency denominated deposit with a fixed maturity rate, yeah, what is the question? So understanding, so question is, in case of foreign currency denominated deposit with a fixed maturity date remain inoperative for a period of dash from the date of maturity of the deposit, it will be crystallized. So the key concept here is the crystallization. So what happened to your foreign currency deposit if it remain untouched after maturity? So we will discuss the concept of crystallization and its impact. So now let's talk about the something that might affect your foreign currency deposit, that is crystallization. It's a term you might not be familiar with, but it is important to understand, especially if you have money parked in a foreign currency fixed deposit. What is crystallization? Crystallization is a process wherein a foreign currency deposit with fixed maturity date is converted to Indian rupees. See, try to understand. You have a foreign currency rupee. You have foreign currency denominated currency, and this particular foreign currency is converted to INR, right? uh, because the amount was remain untouched for a specific period after maturity date, and the period is 3 years, remember it. So if your foreign currency deposit matures and you can't withdraw the money or reinvest it within 3 years, the bank will automatically convert into INR at the prevailing exchange rate. So why do this happen? So this happened to prevent money laundering, this happened to protect the depositor, and this happened to encourage economic activities. Now what happened after crystallization? You can claim your INR proceed, you can claim foreign currency equivalent. So options are 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year. Correct answer will be option number C, that is 3 year. Hopefully this concept is clear now. Now let's see the next question. What is the cost? This is a very good question. Let me explain. Yeah, the question is regarding what is the cost to the customer for redressal of a complaint through the banking ombudsman. So suppose the question is, the banking ombudsman scheme is designed to provide a free and accessible platform for customer to resolve their banking dispute. So what are the option A? Option A say fee fixed of $10. That is wrong. Banking ombudsman is entirely free of charge. There is no cost involved. Option B say a variable fee. No, this is also incorrect. Option C say no fee. That's the correct one, right? Because the fee structure does not depend on the monetary value of the complaint. Option C is the correct one. It is free and accessible, right? Customer friendly. Okay, that's the point. Now let's come to the next question. The next question is, which of the following statement reward the distributed denial of service attack is not correct? So very good question it is. It is regarding DDoS. So let me explain. First option say a DDoS attack involve multiple compromised system attacking a single target. The purpose of a DDoS attack is to prevent an internet site or service from functioning efficiently. Option C says DDoS attack generally consists of effort by a single person to disrupt a service. Option D says the flood of incoming messages in a DDoS attack forces the target system to shut down, denying service to the legitimate issuer. Correct answer is option number C. That is, the DDoS attack generally consists of effort by a single person to disrupt a service. That is called distributed denial of service. Next option. Next question. Which of the following services is not typically offered by the kiosk bank? So first of all, the question is, what is the kiosk bank? Kiosk bank is an self-service banking method where customer can perform various banking transactions through interactive kiosk or terminal. These kiosks are typically located in public place like shopping malls, airport, or even within the bank branches. So now let's see the first question. That is first option. That is the balance inquiry. Yes, this is the common service offered by the kiosk. Customer can easily check their account balance, cash withdrawal. Yes, obviously, similar to ATM, kiosk allow customer to withdraw cash from their account. The third option is bill payment. Yes, bill payment. Many utility bills such as electricity, water, or telephone bill can be paid to your kiosk banking, making loan application. So this is the correct answer. This service is not offered. While kiosk offer many services, but loan application usually involve more complex paperwork and interaction with the loan officer, making them unsuitable for self-service kiosk. So this is not the correct one. So obviously this is incorrect, and as per the question perspective, this is the correct. Depositing checks. Yes, you can deposit your check. Right. So it is convenient to the customer. So option number D is the correct one here. Let's see the next question that we have. The next question is regarding what is a green deposit? Very good question. What is a green deposit? Right. So see, green deposit is a type of financial product where the money you deposit is specifically used to fund environmentally friendly project. Right. So so let's explore each and every option to understand why option is correct. First option say a deposit made by investor who prioritize high return over environmental concern. This is the opposite of green deposit. Green deposit emphasizes environmental impact over maximizing return. Right, that's the point. Option B says a deposit in a financial institution that is earmarked to fund environmentally sustainable project. That's the correct one, I think. Right, this is the correct definition of green deposit. The fund are specifically allocated to the eco-friendly institutes. So option number B is the correct one. Option C says a deposit account that offer tax benefit exclusively for senior citizens. That's wrong, right? And option D says a type of deposit account that only invest in the fossil fuel industry. That is exactly opposite of the green deposit, right? So first of all, see what is the green deposit. Hopefully you have understood. Now let's talk about the next question that way. Option number B is the correct one. The next question is regarding which of the following statement about charge card is not correct. You know what charge card? Charge card, regarding charge card, which option is not correct? This is asked. Let's see the first question. First option. First option say charge card required the full balance to be paid upon receipt of the monthly statement. Right. So see, charge card, you know what is the charge card? Let me explain. See, a key characteristics of charge card is that entire balance must be paid off each month. Right. So this is the correct one. This is the correct explanation. Charge card typically do not have a preset spending limit. Yes, this is also correct. Unlike credit card, charge card often have no preset spending limit. It's not that you have to spend only a limited amount of money. That is wrong. No. There's nothing like that. There is no preset spending limit. Please understand. Option C says there are no charges levied on the amount spent apart from the annual fee. Right. This is partially correct. While there are no interest charge, other fee like annual fee and late fee can apply. Right. The question is there are no charge levied on the amount spent apart from the annual fee. That's wrong. See, this is partially correct. There are no interest charge. That's the correct one. But annual fee, late fee can apply. Right. Late fee are charged on delayed payment. Correct. Right. I have this is they are charged. Right. So correct answer is option number C, because you have been asked which are not correct. Right. Rest 1, A, B and D are correct. Option C is not correct. Right. Okay. Now let's come to the next question. See, this type of question are asked. I am reiterating that we have just begin. If you want lecture in English or you want lecture in Hindi, we have complete lecture available for the entire JIB subjects of all the 4 subjects. Right. If you are interested in our course, you can WhatsApp me in this particular number. We have just begin our mentorship program in which daily based target is provided. I will provide you PDF, videos, every content which you need. You need not buy a book, and also I will provide you quizzes based on those units, those pages in the evening. So this way we will continue our session. Now let's see the next question. Under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, who is considered an authorized person with the power to exercise the powers and perform the duty conferred on the act? Any employee of the bank, any person appointed by the central government through a specific notification, any senior citizen, any registered financial. Option number B is the correct one. Which of the following statement about CHAPS is not correct? You know CHAPS stand for what? You know what is the full form of CHAPS? Let me write it down. It stands for Clearing Automated Payment System. That is the full form of CHAPS. Clearing Automated Payment System. It is a high value payment system used in the UK, United Kingdom, for same day bank to bank transfer. Option A say CHAPS is the same day high value payment system in the UK. This is the correct. You have been asked not correct. Option B says CHAPS uses the SWIFT network for international communication. Yeah, SWIFT is used for international money payment. CHAPS is primarily a domestic payment system within the UK. Right. This is incorrect. CHAPS often guaranteed an irrevocable payment. Right. Yes. This is, I think option number B is incorrect here. Right. I have wrongly written incorrect option number C. This is the incorrect is option number B. Because CHAPS is only limited to the UK. Right. Why to use SWIFT? CHAPS protect payment with encryption and authentication technique. Yeah. This is also correct. Now let's come to the next question that we have. Next question is which of the following statement about the modem is not correct? You know, modem, first option say modem convert digital signal from a computer into format suitable for the transmission over cable or phone line. Yes, that is correct one. Modem are responsible for modulating digital data into analog signal which can be transmitted over physical media like telephone line or coaxial cable. So I've already told you that modulating digital signal, that's the key point. Modulating digital data into analog signal. So modulating digital data into analog signal, that is the part of our that is the purpose of our modem, right? So option number A is correct. Option B says modem can also demodulate signal, converting them back to digital format the computer can understand. Yes, correct. This is also correct. So whatever, when data is received from the internet, modem demodulate the analog signal back to their digital data that computer can process. That is the point. Option C says this is also correct. The modern modem offer integrated router facility, allowing them to create a Wi-Fi network for connected device. This is incorrect. Some modern modem might have built-in Wi-Fi capability. It is not a standard feature. Modem are primarily designed for data transmission, and routers are responsible for creating wireless network. So option number C is incorrect here. The next option was modem require an ISP subscription to function. Yes, correct. Modem need an internet connection to establish communication between your computer and the internet. So please remember this point. Modem are very essential for connecting to the internet, but they don't create Wi-Fi network on their own. Routers are the device that can create wireless network within your home or office, and modem work in a communication with routers to provide internet access to multiple devices. That's the point. Now the next question is, if the check is lost by the drawee bank, what steps should be the bank take to address the issue? So option C, they ignore the loss, that is the drawer responsibility. This is incorrect. The drawee bank has a responsibility to take action when a check is lost. So ignoring the loss cause will lead to the financial loss or the drawer for the drawer or payee, drawee or payee. Option B says immediately inform the drawer and the payee about the loss and advise the drawer to issue a stop payment order. Yes, correct. See, the drawee bank should take the immediate action to inform all parties involved and advise the drawer to issue a stop payment order or to payment the check from being cashed. Option C says issue a new check without any further verification. This is also incorrect. Issuing a new check without proper verification, it could lead to the fraud or duplicate payment. Option D said wait for the payee to notice the loss and take action. This is also incorrect. Remember, the drawee bank has the responsibility to take action when the check is lost. The bank should immediately inform all parties involved and advise the drawer to issue a stop payment order. And issuing new check without proper verification is not a safe or secure practice. Now, the next question is in which stage of the money laundering are the fund deposited into multiple bank account to obscure the you know these stages are very important. Okay, there are three important stages. The first stage is regarding the layering, right? Placement, layering, integration. Correct answer is layering. Now, a group of 10 people is going to the USA for conference and comes to your bank branch to transfer fund for their stay. What is the appropriate action for the bank to take? Very good question. So a group of 10 people comes to your branch and they are requesting you to transfer fund for their stay. So what action will you take? So when a group of people approach a bank to transfer a fund, the bank has a crucial role. The first option say refuse the fund transfer as it involves multiple people. So this is incorrect. Bank cannot deny legitimate financial transaction based on solely on their number of people. Option B says transfer the fund without any documentation. This is the highly irresponsible and illegal. Banks are obligated to verify the source and purpose of fund to prevent money laundering and financial crime. Option C says verify the purpose of the transfer, collect necessary document and comply with the FEMA guidelines. Yes, this is correct approach. Bank must ensure that the fund are for legitimate purpose and the transaction adheres to the foreign exchange regulation. Option D said advise them to use a personal bank account for the transfer. While this might seem like an option, it is not practical or efficient for a group transfer. However, it does not address the core issue of the compliance. Option C is the perfect one. You remember, try to understand this particular point. Okay, let's see the next question. Next question is regarding the negative lien. Which are the following statement about negative lien is not correct? You know what is negative lien? So, what is a negative lien? Negative lien is a type of legal claim. It's a type of legal claim which is placed on an asset by the creditor. It essentially prevents the borrower from taking certain action with the asset without the lender consent. Right? So no need to take the consent of lender. Right? It prevents the borrower from taking certain action with the asset. Right? So first option say negative lien prevents the borrower from selling the collateralized asset without the lender consent. So this is correct one. A negative lien restricts the borrower ability to dispose of the asset without the lender approval. So this borrower cannot dispose the asset without the lender approval. That's the key point. Option number A is the correct one. Option B says negative lien gives the lender priority over other creditor in case of default. See, this is incorrect one. Why? While a negative lien does not protect the lender interest in the asset, it does not automatically grant priority over other creditor. The priority of claim in case of default, it depends on various factors, including the types of lien, the date of creation, and the perfection process. So this is incorrect one. Option C says the negative lien restricts the borrower from creating other lien on the collateralized asset. See, this is correct one. A negative lien prevents the borrower from further encumbering the asset. The borrower cannot encumber the further asset. Option D says a negative lien does not provide the lender with immediate possession of the asset in case of default. See, a negative lien is a security interest, not a policy. There are two things. One thing is security interest, and the other thing is possessory interest. Right? These are two different things. The lender typically needs to take additional legal step to get possession of the asset in case of default. So this is the key point. So friends, we have similar 100 questions which I have collected from memory based from the last examination. So I have just given you few of the questions. If you want more questions, if you want to practice this is our June 24 question. Along with that, if you want to practice October 23 question, June 23 question, we have a separate course for that. We have a JIB PDF plan. Similarly, we have questions available for remaining 3 subjects. So you can enroll in our PDF plan and you can get all these previous questions. 100 questions I have added. You can just see these are different types of questions which are collected memory based, and I have provided proper explanation for each and every question. So if you are interested in the PDF plan, you can WhatsApp me on the number shown on the screen. Thank you.